The Molave and the Orchid by F. Sionil Jose. In the jungle, there was an ancient and arrogant Molave, the oldest of all the trees. Even if so many had tried, the old Molave could not be cut down. He woke up one morning and found a little orchid clinging to his trunk. He'd seen an unwelcome visitor too many times, but they still left. Unlike his regular guests, with the intention of latching on, this little orchid had fastened itself to his trunk. A permanent parasite, he said. Because of the intention of latching on, the old Mulave get angry and keeps tossing the intruder away from his trunk. Due to his rudeness, the orchid objected that she was not a parasite when she was blown to the old Mulave's trunk by fate. She added that there is a reason and purpose for its existence and what love is really about. The old Mulave didn't listen, and the little orchid kept throwing away. After the dry season has ended, monsoon typhoons will rage after. Many of the younger trees broke in storm. The old Mulave was shocked when he looked down that the orchid was still clinging to him. The orchid said that they could only be set apart by death. The old Mulave didn't believe that he was going to die because he was the toughest tree ever in the jungle. He can't be cut down by anyone. The little orchid continues to talk about the purpose of life and love, where it just said that the work is the logic of life and sacrifice is the logic of love. One morning, the old Mulave was speechless when he saw the orchid bloom. With wonder and the full meaning of what the orchid said came to him in all its truth, brilliance, and beauty. Above the tumult of his feelings, deep within him, he was glad that the orchid had clung to him through typhoons and drought. Suddenly, a group of men appeared with a large chainsaw, cutting him down. As he felt the sharp pain in his flesh, the old Mulave was so weak and he didn't need to speak as he knew what love was and beauty, too, until he kneeled over and fell with a loud crash that reverberated in the entire forest or jungle. As he fell, the orchid had bruised and crushed some of her flowers but still clung to the old Mulave. After the old Mulave has cut down, one of the men came forward and was stunned by the beauty of the orchid that clings on the old Mulave. Also, he said that he would give the other section to Billy Abueva so it could be able to create a sculpture of lasting beauty from them, and the rest would build a large coffee table in their living room. And the little precious orchid clinging to the tree will surely place his wife on the table to grace their living area too. What is the story all about? The story is all about the Molave and the Orchid, wherein the Molave, who is arrogant and braggart because he is the oldest tree on the forest or jungle, and when the orchid cling on his trunk, he get mad and irritated to it. That's the reason why the orchid began to become impudent towards him in a good and truthful manner, to make the old Molave tree to think widely and realize or learn something about life and especially love. Which part of the story struck you the most? Why? The part of the story that struck me the most is when the orchid told the Molave that every life has a reason and purpose of its existence, and also asked it when what is the purpose or reason of his existence if he is useless or not useful to others. Because of this part of the story, I have realized that every life has a purpose and everything that happens has a reason that may teach us a lesson to come up with a better realization, especially about beauty of life and love, just like what the orchid made the old Molave realize. Where did the story happen? The story happens, or the setting of the story is in the jungle or forest. What is the theme and the point of view of the story? The theme of the story is about life or life's purpose and love. The point of view of the story used is third person. How does the author use setting to enhance the mood of the story? The author uses the settings to enhance the mood of the story by influencing the way the characters behave, feel, and respond, as well it affects the scenes or events happening in the settings, like the weather and season, that also affects the characters and enhance the mood of the story towards the readers. How did the story affect your life as a student? The story affects my life as a student in the way of knowing what is my purpose in life, especially being a student, on what is the purpose why I am studying, or for what reason why I am studying. Is it only for myself, or is it also for the other people, especially my family? Overall, it affects me the way I see things, especially my purpose in life in the near future, from being a hardworking student turning as an engineer and at the same time pilot and professor who provide helps, lessons, and services not only to myself but also to other people, especially to my future clients, passengers, and students. What is the moral lesson of the story? The moral lesson of the story of the Molave and the Orchid is about knowing what is the reason and purpose of our existence. Also tell the meaning of love, which is to sacrifice.